Welcome back to tutorial number 3. This is motion tweening. Okay, the first step we're going to do is to click on the layer 1. Label this one circle. Now come over to the circle shapes tool and click on the oval tool. Hold down the shift key and draw and stretch out until you have a nice round circle. Okay, double click on the item on the circle, and now we're going to convert this one to a symbol so that we can apply the motion tween. So hit modify, click on the modify and convert to symbol. So we call this the circle. And now make sure the registration is in the center there. Now we're going to make it a movie clip and hit OK. So now we have our symbol over here on the stage and in the library. So the next step we're going to do now is to go Insert, Motion Tween. Now coming over to frame 5, we're going to start to move this circle. As you can see, the line is starting to, a green line is starting to stretch as we move in a certain direction. Coming to frame 7 or 8, we're going to move it upwards. Coming to a frame 10, we're going to move the circle downwards. And again at frame 12, we're going to move the circle upwards. And frame 15, we're going to move the circle downwards. And once we get to around about frame 16 or 17, we're going to move it one big jump upwards towards the corner. And just clicking onto frame 20 now, we're going to see if we can bring it down to around about halfway. That's about it. And we don't need to go all the way to frame 25. We can bring that in, but we'll just leave it there for now. Now we're going to insert another layer. And we're going to label this one Circle 2. Coming over to frame 50, we're going to insert a keyframe. And in frame 25, we'll insert a keyframe. Now if we come back here, we can see that we have the circle there. What we need to do now is to actually copy that one. So Command C, and coming up to layer 2, circle 2 layer, we need to now edit and paste in place. So we have 2 layers and the same circle. So what we now want to do is to also apply this motion effect to this circle until it gets towards the end here. So we also want to paste that same circle in place on the last frame. But that's going to actually be over this side to the left hand side. So coming over to keyframe and frame 25, let's now modify and insert motion tween. Insert motion tween. So let's begin to move this. Okay, we're going to move the circle down to about here. And at frame 30, we're going to move the circle up to about there. Frame 33, we're going to move the circle down. At frame 35, we're going to move the circle back up again. Frame 36, 7, we're going to move the circle down, and at frame 40, we're going to move the circle up. Now, at frame 43, we're going to move the circle right up towards the top again, and at frame 45, we want to see if we can move the circle to around about the center. No worries. Okay, and now, here we go. Around about frame 47, we're going to see if we can bring this circle down to about the center point on stage. And now what we're going to do, we see if we can change a few details on this by coming back to the center, coming back to the start, pressing enter, having a look and seeing what this actually does. As you can see, we can see that it's moving now. As we press enter, you can see where it does move. Okay, what we want to do now is actually come to the last frame of the first layer that we did and just transform by pressing Control, free transform, and we just want to scale that down. Coming to the first frame of the top layer, frame 25, we want to make sure that's there, and then going to the last frame, which is actually frame 50, we want to bring frame 50 back towards the center, and lining that up, we want to now bring the circle just around about where it hits frame 45 and frame 50. We want to shrink that down to small size. Well, shrink it down quite small. Okay. Press enter. You can see now that does actually have a nice motion tween involved with that. So we'll also insert motion tween on the last frame. And what we'll now do is Command Enter. And you can see that looping quite fast and moving across the screen at a high rate. And that completes the tutorial for motion tweening. Thank you.